each and every one of us, Damen und Herren. Mein Name ist Lehrer Fred. Now, for those of us who are tuning in for the very first time, let me firstly introduce myself. I am Teacher Fred, and today I want us to handle some nice part of the speaking examination. All right. So as you get to tune into this, as you get to join in, kindly feel free to share what is your name and where are you tuning in from. Please feel free to also share with us which German level are you now doing and for how long have you been doing it. Now, this is going to be targeting on your part number 2 of the Sprechen examination. Just get somewhere to write because I want to share with us some of the tips and the tricks that one can use when they get to be doing their Sprechen. This is the speaking examination. Now, first of all, one needs to remember that in part number 2 of your speaking examination, you normally get cards as follows, all right? So look at the title. It tells like this: Informationen bieten und Informationen geben. Okay? Informationen bieten und Informationen geben, which now simply means requesting or asking for information and also proceeding to give out information. Now, they will give you cards as follows. They're going to provide you with cards like we see on the screen, and then you will be expected to use the cards to form questions. All right. Now, when forming these questions, there are 2 ways I could choose to do it. I could either form the questions using question words, or I could decide to form the questions using verb first. So I'm going to jump to my first word, and the first card you've been given here is Frühstück. Frühstück, which now means breakfast. And then you can see there's a Thema. The Thema here is Essen und Trinken. Essen und Trinken. That is food and drinks, or eating and drinking. Okay. So the first possible question I could ask with Frühstück is this. Now someone could just go ahead and simply say, now you could simply ask, was essen Sie? So was essen Sie zum Frühstück? Was essen Sie zum Frühstück? So what do you eat for breakfast? Was essen Sie zum Frühstück? Now there is also one from Lipa. Now Lipa says like this: Essen Sie gern Frühstück? So this is the first possible one. Now the other one is from Lipa, says like this: Essen Sie gern Frühstück? Do you like to take breakfast? Essen Sie gern Frühstück? So do you like to take breakfast? All right. So basically what happens here is that this word given, it has to appear in your question. So that was the first one, Frühstück. I would encourage you to form also as many as possible in the comment section. I'll be able to read out aloud some of them. So remember, this is Frühstück. I always say, try and form the questions in English and then translate. What do you eat for breakfast? How much is the breakfast? Where is my breakfast? You know, etc, etc. Now, the next one, still on the topic of Essen and Trinken, you've been given Lieblingsessen. Lieblingsessen, which now means favorite food. Lieblingsessen, which is now favorite food. So just go ahead and form a question using Lieblingsessen, favorite food. So how would you form any question using Lieblingsessen? Now you could simply ask somebody, what is your favorite food? What is your favorite food? Was ist dein? So you will either use dein or ihr. So, was ist dein oder ihr Lieblingsessen? Was ist dein Lieblingsessen? What is your favorite food? Now you will either be using dein or eher. Both of them simply mean your. The difference is that dein is used in the do form, and then eher is going to be used in the official form, right? So you say, was ist dein Lieblingsessen? What is your favorite food? Now, how do you respond to that? Now, later you won't use innen because it's different, yeah? Now, I will simply answer by saying, mein Lieblingsessen, mein Lieblingsessen. Now, remember it's one word, yeah? Mein Lieblingsessen ist, and then I proceed to say what my favorite food is. Now, there's a question from Dorcas is asking, can we not say deine like this? Why is it not deine? Now, it is not deine because essen is neuter. So that's why I don't say deine. Instead, you will say dein. If in case it was feminine, is when you would have said deine. Okay? All right, then. Let's check another card. Now, you've been given Sonntag. Sonntag, which is now Sunday. Let's also go ahead and attempt forming a question using Sonntag, Sunday. Sonntag. Now remember, you're forming the question in regards to the tema, which is now referring to food, drinks, and etc., right? So, Sonntag, Sunday. You could simply ask somebody, what do you eat on Sunday? Now, there's a good question from Lipa. Lipa is very active, sehr gut. Lipa asks, was essen Sie am Sonntag? Now, here's the question from one of us. Was essen Sie? Was essen Sie am Sonntag? Was essen Sie am Sonntag? All right. So, what do you eat on Sunday? Now, of course, you could choose to either use the verb essen. Someone could decide to also try and use trinken, right? Essen, trinken, oder kochen, because they're all still in the same line of food and drink. So, was essen Sie am Sonntag? What do you eat on Sunday? Or was trinken Sie am Sonntag? Lastly, was kochen Sie am Sonntag? And then you would choose one of the verbs. You could say, ich esse, right? Ich esse, etc. Okay? Now, remember when you'll be using the Z, it should be capital. This one here. The Z should be capital. If in case you put a small s, it would mean they. What are they? So this one here should be capital to mean you. Is that okay, Dorcas? So make it capital. If in case you put a small s, it would mean they. All right? All right, then let's now see another card. Beer. The next card you've been given here is beer. Now remember, beer is simply beer in English, right? Now, what I'd like you to notice is that they told us alcoholic drinks in German are normally neuter, all right? Alcoholic drinks in German, they're normally neuter das, except beer, which is das Bier, okay? So on that question you've been asking, Lipa, is this. This is always capital. This one is always capital, which means you, all right? But if in case it is small s like this, if it is small s like that, this would mean she or they. All right? So that's why I want us to check if it is small or capital. So back to the question, which was now asking on beer. Beer. Now there's some question here that somebody has asked. Trinken Sie gern Bier? That is a question from Lepa says, trinken Sie gern Bier? Trinken Sie gern Bier? So, do you like to drink beer? Now, I could simply say, ja, ich trinke gern Bier. Yes, I like drinking beer. Or nein, ich trinke Bier nicht. No, I don't drink beer. Okay? Now, this again, as I said, you're playing with the verbs. Could it be trinken Sie, kaufen Sie Bier, möchten Sie Bier trinken? Wo ist das Bier? Etc. Okay. All right, let's now see another one. Fleisch. Fleisch. Remember, Fleisch is meat. Okay. Fleisch. So how would you form any question with Fleisch, which is beer? Now there's a response from Salma says, Ich trinke kein Bier. I don't drink beer. So let's also try forming a question with this one here. How would you form a question using Fleisch, meat? So I'll be able to read the first few ones from us. Fleisch. Now, so you said flesh is either meat or flesh. Now, somebody could ask you, how much is a kilo of meat? How much is a kilo of meat? That is, wie viel, how much is a kilo of meat? Wie viel kostet? Wie viel kostet ein Kilo Fleisch? Wie viel kostet ein Kilo Fleisch? How much does a kilo of meat cost? You would simply respond by saying, ein Kilo Fleisch kostet, and then you would mention 10 Euro, 20 Euro, etc. There's also another example from one of us asking like this. Essen Sie gern Fleisch am Mittag? Right? There's one from Lepa says, Essen Sie gern Fleisch am Mittag? Do you like to eat meat at noons or at lunchtime? Okay. And then Hannah's vlog says like this. Wo kaufst, just add an S, Hannah. Wo kaufst du Fleisch? Where do you buy the meat? And then there's also one from Umesh. Umesh says like this. Ja, ich möchte immer das Fleisch essen. Und du? So, ja, ich möchte immer das Fleisch essen. Und du? Yes, I always would like to eat the meat. How about you? Sehr gut. Okay, let's now take another one. Now, this one here is Brot. They've given you Brot, which is now bread. Brot, bread. So how would you form any question using the word Brot? Brot, which is now going to be bread. As you form the question, one also needs to be reminded of their articles, their didas. Brot. Now here I could simply ask somebody a question like this using bread. Where is the bread? Whose bread is that? Would you like some bread? How much is the bread? You know, which bread are you buying? And I could ask, which bread are you buying? Now because it's neuter, I would say, welches Brot kaufst du? Which bread are you buying? Welches Brot kaufst du? Which bread are you buying? Now, another question also still on bread. I can see Lepa asks like this. Kaufen Sie gern Brot? I just check to ensure that your noun always begins in capital letter. Kaufen Sie gern Brot? Kaufen Sie gern Brot? Do you like to buy bread? And then Salma Ibrahim says, Wo kaufen ich ein Brot? Oh, instead you would say, where can I buy a bread? Wo kann ich Brot kaufen? Okay. Wo kann ich Brot kaufen? So, where can I buy bread? Now, this other one also from Lipa says, wie viel kostet? Not kosten, but kostet. Wie viel, as one word. Wie viel kostet das Brot? Wie viel kostet das Brot? It is right. So that is how I can form a question using the board. There's this one also from Umesh. Is du Brot am Mittag? Do you eat bread in the afternoon? How about Vishal says, Ich esse Brot heute Morgen. Now you remove the just say, Ich esse Brot heute Morgen, okay? Mansara says, Kannst du mir bitte Brot geben? Should be geben, okay? So that is basically how you get to form questions in this part. Remember, they said that you will get a card like this and you will proceed to form the question in regards to the, don't forget this word here, the tema. They normally give you this tema here to guide you. Tema. So always as you form the question, check on the tema provided, right? Because sometimes they could give you here essen und trinken. Sometimes they would give you here kaufen. Sometimes so you always have to check on the word and the tema, so that as you form the question, they be in the same context. Okay? So that is how part number 2 is going to look like. Let's also mention something briefly about part number 3. Let's also mention something about your part number 3. Now for part number 3, I'm going to let you attempt on your own. Look at part number 3. Oh, sorry. So part number 3, unlike part 2, they will give you photos. They're going to give you photos like this, and you will be required to use these photos to form requests. They're going to give you some photos like this, and you would be expected to use these photos to form requests. So what I want to do is I want to challenge us today as we finish now, that I would like you to take these photos and form questions with them. You can see in the first photo you've been given an apple. Apfel. Then you have the knife and the fork. That is Messer and Gabel. That's Messer and die Gabel. You also have here a glass and glass. Could be Wasser or the Milch, etc. So what I want to do is I would like you just to take a screenshot of this, and I would like you to form requests. Remember, in this part now, it is requests, not questions. All right? How do you form requests? You will either form a request in the Z form. One can either form the request in the Z form as follows. How do you form a request in the Z form? You simply begin with your verb, like this, and then you follow with the Z. That's it, imagine. You begin with the verb, and then you follow with a Z. That is how you form a request. Okay? So maybe I could tell the person, kaufen Sie. Like there's an example from Lipa. Kaufen Sie bitte. Kaufen Sie. Kaufen Sie bitte. Kaufen Sie bitte einen Apfel. Einen Apfel. Please buy me an apple. Kaufen Sie bitte einen Apfel. Please buy an apple. Or I could say, please buy me. Bitte kaufen Sie mir einen Apfel. Please buy me an apple. All right. Now Hannah's vlog says like this. Können Sie mir bitte sagen, wie viele ist der Apfel? Now, can you tell me how much is the apple? Now, Hannah, I would recommend you remove the E and say, können Sie mir sagen, wie viel ist der Apfel? Can you please tell me how much is the apple? Okay. Now, Mansora also says, helfen Sie mir bitte. Helfen Sie mir bitte with an apple. Please help me with the apple. So, Mansora, please just make sure the apple is capital A. Können Sie mir, helfen Sie mir bitte Apfel. Help me with the apple. So, this is going to be our house of Gabi as we conclude. I would like you to go ahead in your own free time and form requests using the following photos. The apple, the knife, glass, cigarette, radio, and Tasche. Okay? You're going to feel free to comment you're going to share your requests from this in the comment section, and that will also invite others to also comment on each one of our requests we would have formed. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the live, And I would like to say, das war sehr schön von euch. I'll be seeing us in the next one. For those of us who requested for a full class, all right, I've prepared some nice full A1 video classes. Those of us who are not able to attend a class regularly, I've posted it here on the wall. Please go ahead and check on the members only. You'll be able to purchase the full A1 video course, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's live. Tschüss, and I'll be seeing us in the next one.